Well, we're almost ready to finish off this press mold. Here's the exterior, here's the interior. And all the while I was making this, I was thinking about how ultimately I want to have this shown and exhibited. And there are many choices. The piece could sit, on its side like this. It could sit as it was made, as the keel of a boat. It could also get a nail hole right here. Hope you can see that right here, coming up from the base of a table or a pedestal. And it could sit right on the keel of this boat shape. Or I could put it onto the wall. And I'm just going to set that up for you. So this piece was made with a 3/8 inch slab. And it's a pretty hefty piece. And the reason why it's so hefty is that it may actually have to hang on to something like this, which is a brad. I think it's a 2-inch headless nail. And if it were to be on the wall, it could come straight off the wall from the center of the keel. It could sit at an angle, almost like an ear. It could go horizontally. Really, anyway. Or it could sit like so, horizontally, vertically, diagonally. Whoop. I just have to make sure there's enough connection between this brad and the clay to hold it on the wall. And that's actually a pretty easy thing to do. Let's say I want this to sit straight on the wall, not bent like this, although you could do it, or bent over, you could do it that way too. But let's say I just want to sit it right against the wall straight. So I want to put the nail in the wall at a 45-degree angle. I hope you can see the angle that this nail is. And then into the clay, I want to press a hole without going all the way through. And since I'm sort of in the center where there is this dividing slab, I have plenty of clay to work with. And I'm just going to wiggle this clay around. So what I'm going to finish with is just a hole into the piece, substantial, maybe a 1/2 inch. Wiggle it around so as the clay dries and shrinks, I'll still be able to get the nail in there. And then I'll go around this hole and just compress. This clay is still pretty wet, so it's very easy to compress. There it is. That's it. Now let's say though that I want to install it, let's say on its side, like so. I want to install it like this against the wall. Or better yet, why don't we do it this way? Okay. So here's my wall, here's the piece. I'm going to have to get something in here that will accept a nail. I could, in theory, drive a hole right up through here, but let's say I don't have enough clay right there. So I'm going to just take a little clay. It's a very small amount of clay, so I can't really wedge it the way I usually do with, making a coil and making a tab. So I'm just going to roll this through my fingers, through my hands, through my palms, all of the above. And then I'm going to press out a bit of clay that is about as thick as this piece. I'm going to compress the edges, get it nice and strong. lay it down, and just press where I want this to join into the clay. And what I want is a shadow. I want a mark where this space is, right up here. So I'm going to cut out this shape. Very vigorously score and score. Take a little slip, put it in the score marks, a little more, and this is basically, I'm making a ledge that this nail is going to sit in on. So I'm pressing this clay into the piece. I'm going to remove any extra, but I really want the water, the moisture to squirt out where the seam is, so I'll know that I've joined it all around. That feels good. And then I'm going to flatten it so it sits again right on the wall. It will sit again right on the wall. And from here, I can make my 45. This is where the nail will go. And I can take a little bit of that clay away. And flatten it again. So there it is. It can either join here or it can join here. I choose one or the other. And that should give you a start on how you would want to install your press and drape molds. Bye.